Hello everybody, it's TrY here, and welcome back to another cast of Rise of Witch King Patch 2.2 version 7. Today we have a 2v2 on Anorien. Alright, let us get into the match, shall we? Here we are. Lovely Anorien. Signal fire in the center. And we have our first player, Glaurung as Elves, and his ally is Excelsior as Men of the West. The opposing team, we have Plat as Goblins, and TrY as Goblins as well. So we got double Gobs versus Elves and Men. Cool. It's another good versus evil match, it looks like, which is always fun to see. So we'll see who comes out on top. The forces of Sauron, the forces of light, I guess. Alright, we got a stable start here from Excelsior, playing his classic Men of the West, as he's known to play quite often. And then we have Glaurung going for a barrack start there. Got Goblin Cave going down for Plat and TrY. I'm not sure who that is exactly, because I've never heard of them before. It's probably somebody who's using some sort of weird name. But we have Goblin Warriors coming up for him as well. He's queued up a couple, as his first one will be out, and then his next one will be coming out right after. Except not literally right after, but you know what I mean. Or maybe you don't. Whatever. We got Missile and Sentries coming out here for Glaurung. And then, of course, the Gunner Knights out for Excelsior. And off they go. So potentially he's going to go capture a Swing of Fire. He's going to do some harassment. There are warg things in this map. There's also trolls. And fun fact about Anorien is you can actually build in this river all the way across, I believe. Some players don't actually know that. But it looks like Plat does. And he is taking advantage of the fact that he can get all the way over here and build right next to the enemy. So we'll see if that takes Glaurung by surprise or not. Glaurung's going for a creep on the Warglider there. Excelsior is taking the Signal Fire. We've got 3 caves out here for nOcRy. And we have spiders coming out. Glaurung does know this builder is here now, it seems, somehow. Apparently he has vision over there. So how does he have vision that far? Surely nOcRy doesn't give you that much vision, does it? Maybe it does. Oh, unfortunately for Plat, he knows he's there. And both of them have come to claim his life. I like how the water splashes up because he's like underwater technically. It's like shooting a seal door while he's in the river. The way he lost the ring. Ah, yes. Isildur! You get Isildur. You can call it that. Trademark. Alright, we got some Spiderlings out. We got Goblin Warriors out. And a lot of Goblin Warriors out for nOcRy, who is pretty close to getting smacked by a troll, but looks like he managed to get by unscathed. Excelsior sending some Gondor soldiers out. He's now sitting on 2 battalions of Gondor Knights. Of course, the Spiderling is going to be key for trying to shut down that. So he's going to want to try to keep those alive. And keep the cav under in check, basically. Here we go, nOcRy going for it. One of Excelsior's farms. He should be able to get that before Excelsior can do anything about it. Even if he can't do anything about it, do you really want to trample that? You're going to take a bit of casualties. Looks like he did already use his Poison Blades though, sadly. I expected that many Goblin Warriors to do a lot more. I guess they do a lot more when you have Poison Blades and they focus. Excelsior got dealt with that pretty well without losing too much of his cav, fortunately for him. Alright, we got Goblin Archers here out for nOcRy, so he's going to try and bring down this Cave Troll. He's creeping the Cave Troll, just lots of goblins. Which, I mean, it works. A few goblins will lose their lives. But that's the goblin life, huh? You're expendable. Rip. Glaurung's got a couple of battalions of archers, 2 battalions of swords, and some pikes. And Plat is, of course, getting more lings out in the field. And more goblin warriors as well. It's pretty even game so far, I'd say. Glaurung's getting a pretty sizable force building up. If you got it all together, of course. Of elves. Once you get a giant blob of elves, it can be very hard to deal with, so that might be tricky. Excelsior's making a push here. Some rally call going to Knights. That builder is right in the middle there. TrY nOcRy. Luckily, did not lose it though. Excelsior wisely pulling back because he is losing a lot of his Gunner Knights. Archer fire with the poison arrows and such. And it looks like Glaurung going for an offensive here. The Plat's base. Managed to get one of the Goblin Caves down. Which will of course slow the troop production. He'll have to build another cave if he wants to get more than one Goblin going at a time. So that'll definitely slow him down a bit. And of course he has to get more tunnels because he probably lost a tunnel here also. As usually a fort is surrounded by tunnels. Or farms in general. Alright. The Southern Goblin though doing pretty well. He's putting out lots of troops. Looks like they're going to have an elf sandwich here. You don't want to be the meat in that sandwich, let me tell you. The cave best debuffing the elves, of course, and then they're just getting swarmed down. Glaurung's forces will be no more very shortly. They're being eaten alive. And all for a single fire. An unfortunate turn of events, but nice teamwork between the goblin players. Catching the elf guy while he is alone. Here comes Excelsior with his cav. He's also got Aimer. Trying to click on him. There we go. He's fresh level 1 boy. Will definitely be useful. Although with this amount of goblins, it's going to be tricky. Because you don't really want to keep trampling through this amount of goblins, especially while buffed. They will shred you. And you will get slowed down enough. And you'll start taking poison damage from the blades. It won't be pretty. We do have Haldir, of course, of Lothlorien. There he is in all his splendor. It's Glaurung's first choice of hero. Not a bad one. Haldir is always a solid choice as a starting hero. He's got a bow, he's got a sword, he has leadership level later on at level 6, and of course he has golden arrow, which is pretty useful, pretty good. But of course it's level 10, you gotta get him level 10 first. Or you can worry about that. Will Excelsior get stuck in this clump of goblins? Seem to be doing a decent job of not getting too stuck. Usually when you go balls deep into a clump like that, you don't get out unscathed. So it's very, very tricky. And of course the lings will make things even worse, as they won't be trampled. Spiderling cannot be trampled, in fact, by Cav. Well, I think the only thing you can trample those is Mumix. Because Mumik trample everything except for like Sauron. And other Mumik, I guess. Maybe trolls and ints and stuff? I'm not sure. I don't think they can be trampled either, but I could be wrong on that one. Regardless, doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. We got 5-6 caves out here for TrY nOcRy. Holy shit. He's definitely got the spam engine rolling. Meanwhile, Plat's not so much. His base is looking pretty sparse. Sparse? It's sparse. I know it's sparse, so why would I say sparse? I think I was going to say Spartan at first. Who knows? Good thing English is not my native language, lol. It totally is. Feels bad. Well, the Blue Goblins definitely have a lot of troops. I think he's what's keeping the Eastern team on the offensive here and not being overwhelmed too much. Also probably causing great lag in the game as well. Just having a lot of goblins and then like spamming orders will lag the game. So it's never a fun time for that. Alright, we got Elven Wood here. Haldir and his elven friends cleaning up Plat's troops pretty easily. I think Plat's making mistakes here, sending his stuff against that. Azog is on the field though. I think Plat needs to regroup, get some decent troops, and then make a push of strength instead of sending weak things at the elves for power points. For them to gain power points off of earlier. Looks like Excelsior tried to throw up a tower there. Only resulted in his builder's demise, sadly. He's getting outlaw leadership money. There it is, level 4. Which is basically the equivalent of scavenger. 4 men of the West. Always nice to have. A boost to your economy is always lovely. Goblin Warriors are only worth 1, but if you kill like 20 of them, they're 20 bucks, yeah? It's not too shabby. He does have wells, of course, to heal up his cav, which is very wise. If you're playing heavy cav, or even not heavy cav, if you have cav in general, or any expensive units you want to keep alive, you're going to want to heal them up instead of sending them into battle dead. Because it's just a waste of money. Why send in a battalion with 1 guy when you can send it in with all of them? Alright, we got Spider Riders on the field now. Plats, he's going for Spider Riders, half-troll swords. Good combo. Half-troll swords, while being swordsmen, they still won't be trampled by cav, and they do decently well against them as well. They're just a solid unit as well. I think it's a good choice. They, of course, won't win by themselves or anything. They're not nearly as good as half-troll marauders at countering cav by any means. But they won't be killed off super quick like a normal swordsman unit either, which is nice for goblins. Pretty hard fought battle for the center here, it looks like. That's like still kicking ass and taking names over here. There's great battle rage going. We should get some Rivendell Lancer kills. Although Excelsior's cav is definitely helping here. He's got a lot. He's going very heavy on the cav. But cav, let's be real, is Men of the West's greatest strength. So it makes sense. But usually you don't see a ton of cav in a 1v1 or 2v2 game. But you will see a fair amount. It is unusual for players to go all cav in a 1v1 or 2v2 though. Of course, Excelsior is not doing that. He has foot soldiers and archers and stuff as well. Oh, God, the tramples are real. And we have a Tom Bombadil summon there. He is. Oh, God, the Sonic Song. Whoa. Jesus Christ. That's a Sonic Song and a half. Incredible. Very nice. That cleaned up a lot of TrY army. TrY looks like he's gone for Ulti Fissure. I did see a cave troll in there at one point. So he did throw a cave troll out. You got Tower Guards out for Excelsior, of course. So his archers are fighting melee there. And Glaurung is bringing forth his guys, led by Haldir. Haldir's not quite level 6 yet. So he doesn't have his leadership. It is not looking good for the Eastern team, it's got to be said. Plat really hasn't had a whole lot on the field. He's got 3 fissures, but it feels like he doesn't have any troops ever. It's crazy. I think maybe more half-troll marauders are what he needs. This amount of cav can be very, very annoying and difficult to deal with. But, well, he's not doing too bad, I'd say. He's getting the right units, I feel like. Half-Troll Marauders and Spiderlings will definitely help counter that. But it's the other stuff he has to worry about as well. He also have to rebuild his economy and such. We do have Cave Trolls throwing rocks here, which is always fun. It looks like Glaurung's also going pretty heavy on the Cav as well, getting 3 battalions of Lancers. Should really put these trolls in like punch mode or something, or throw goblins. A very underutilized ability is pick up Goblin Orc. If you throw the Goblin Orc at the enemy, it causes fear. Fun fact. Which is incredibly powerful, considering goblins have a little fear that you can throw. And it does pretty good damage as well. A classic strategy, of course, is to get a bunch of cave trolls in older patches. Get a bunch of goblins picked up and throw them at the fort and just obliterate it, because it does a fair amount of damage. Somehow, throwing a squishy little goblin at a fortress does a lot of damage. But it does good damage to units as well, of course. I definitely recommend using that, especially, I think TrY nOcRy should be utilizing that. Unless they're fighting on this Elven Wood, it's not like he's going to have fear resist at the moment. Let's be real, fear is never a bad thing to have unless you're using a big power and you don't want something to move, I guess. Speaking of powers, let's see what we got. Excelsior is about to get a 15-point power. Glaurung also about to get a 15. So we have Scavenger for TrY nOcRy. Oh no. Both goblins went Scavenger. That is a sign of poor teamwork there. Scavenger does not stack between players. It does share between your allies, though. So, it is a waste to actually get both players doing Scavenger. It feels bad. They should have coordinated that a little better, I feel like. We do have Theoden on the field now. Be cool on his barded horse. Yeah, it looks like TrY nOcRy is being overwhelmed by just the amount of cav. Also, Cloudbreak being used, turning that troll to stone, and that troll as well. It's a cool little feature, I think. There's some features in the game that are very cool flavor, and then some that aren't so good. That one's a good one. Plat has been defeated, by the way, so they're doubling on TrY nOcRy. I guess he's gonna have to try not to cry after this game. I would say probably try not to cry about Cav spam. An unfortunate fate. But the Cav spam, I will admit, has won this game for the Western team, for sure. And there we go. TrY nOcRy is dead. Excelsior and Glaurung are victorious. Cool. So yeah. Pretty decent game. The Eastern team was doing okay for a bit. I felt like TrY nOcRy was doing really well. Plat, he wasn't doing super great most of the game, I felt like. Especially, it was pretty much all downhill after he lost his sneaky builder thing. That was unfortunate. Would have been fun to see that actually work. Sadly, he was spotted. And also, yeah, both players going for Scavenger, not the best of things. Definitely want to coordinate with your ally if you're the same faction. Don't go same thing like Scavenger or Field of Fires as your ally, because it doesn't stack. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that cast, and I will see you guys in the next cast of the Rise of the Witch King Patch 2.2. See you all next time.